But Cody Bellinger looked really good. Came back today, was in the lineup, 2 hits, a double and a single for him. And something I saw going around on Twitter, it was actually, I saw it because it was shared by Mitch from our friends over at the Dingers podcast. And it's the evolution of Bellinger's stance and swing from 2019 to now, with 2020 kind of just axed out of there. And he looks more like his 2019 self in the batter's box when he won the NL MVP award than he did in 2021 and 2022, where he struggled mightily, as everybody obviously knows, and why he's not still a Dodger. So, guys, I want to hear from you guys.
I'm excited for the prospects of having some lefty pop again. In the sense of Cody Bellinger, he's looked really good in his plate appearances already. Something that I think he needs to continue to do is be selective with his pitches. A lot of times last year, he was getting behind in counts and not setting himself up for the pitch that he wanted. But he looks really good right now. And just to have that left side power prospect come back would be great. But he's playing for a contract right now. Having a guy on a 1 year like that, he's going to have a lot of motivation and a lot of, just grunt work ahead of him to get back to where he was in the talk. So, to be talked up again. When he first came out, everyone was talking about Cody Bellinger. So to have a guy on a 1 year contract, he wants to get his name back up to the top. I'm excited. And what I've seen so far, I'm very, very hopeful.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to be excited about. Juice, what are your thoughts on Belly?
Yeah, I think he becomes even more important based on what's going on with the Seiya Suzuki news. I mean, they're going to have to find some power. And with the short sample size that we've had so far this spring training, they've definitely found some lefty power. I mean, obviously Matt Mervis is hitting the ball with authority out there as well, and Cody Bellinger with a nice day today. I think the great thing about Cody is his versatility with his glove. Obviously, whatever we can get out of him via the bat is kind of, obviously it's probably sprinkles and whipped cream on the sundae. We want a little bit more based on the fact that Seiya Suzuki looks like he'll be, out for at least a little bit because he's going to have to carry that. I tweeted the other day, I think that there's a good chance we see some Belly in right field and some Morel in center based on the fact of if Seiya Suzuki is missing some time, right field at Wrigley is very difficult to play. He's going to have to slide into that power slot and play a good right field if that's the case. I know there's a lot of talk. We're going to talk about it later on the show too, in terms of like who we think is going to get more play if Seiya can't go earlier on this season or at least till May. But with that said, it's good things to see. He had to make an adjustment, right? If we're looking at the way his seasons have gone in the past, it was almost like getting back with a comfortable hitting coach and getting himself back in an organization that was really committed to him. Let's face it, like you come from the Dodgers, there's a lot of guys that you could plug and play because they have so much talent in their farm system and so much depth that maybe they just kind of gave up on Bellinger and said, you know what, it's time to, give another guy a run at this because we have that depth. The Cubs are hoping on that 1 year deal and a bounce back year. And I like what I see so far. Now, mind you, we talked about it in the show last week. It's all grain of salt things from here on out. But yeah, no, I definitely got to be pleased with what you're seeing in the batter's box from him early.
100%. Joey?
Yeah, I mean, definitely grain of salt because it's early, but in spring training. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, it's good that he has that versatility. It's nice that you can kind of play him around the outfield pretty much wherever. I mean, I'd feel comfortable with him in left field. I'd feel comfortable with him at first base because he's shown that he can do that well. So, I mean, it's nice to have that flexibility, especially when you're dealing with injuries. And, I mean, a key part of this team, a big reason why I think we're all a little bit higher on the Cubs than maybe the national media goes is Seiya Suzuki. So if that guy's out for any amount of time at all, it makes you worry. And like Bellinger is a guy that needs to have a bounce back type of season if this team's going to compete offensively, if that guy's out for a significant amount of time. And I do like that he can play multiple positions. So we'll see. I got to check out what Mitch, the breakdown that he kind of did, because I didn't see that yet. But I'm definitely interested to see, what changes he's made so far.
Yeah, and that I think that's what I'm most excited about, right? Because when Bellinger signed, I remember sitting here with you guys and saying, look, if this guy gives you 2/3 of that MVP season production, this team is probably a playoff contender. Like, because he is that talented. And we've seen it. It's not like this is a guy that they're like still betting on, right? That's, he's got all this upside. He's won an NL MVP. Like, this guy is no joke. He dealt with a lot of injuries, and that messed with his swing. And when guys mess with their swings and it's not natural, it's really easy to get out of rhythm and see what happened to him the last couple of years now after that MVP. It's nice seeing that batting stance back where it was in 19, because then to me that means his swing is back to where he's comfortable. And to your point, Nick, if he's bringing that left-handed pop this season, that's refreshing, because the Cubs have needed that since obviously the departure of Anthony Rizzo. And even over the last couple of years for Riz, his numbers had started to dip a little bit each year. So, I think back, and Joey, Juice, you guys can attest to this. I think back to Cubs convention when Ian Happ did the compound live from CubsCon, and he was talking to Bellinger and brought up that there's only been one 40 home run season by a left-handed hitter in Cubs history, and that was Billy Williams once. Could you imagine if Bellinger goes out there this year and hits 40 bombs? It would be nuts.
Yeah, we'd be going nuts.
He followed that up with he's going to have to hit the ball the other way too, and I think that's something maybe that this swing does. Maybe that's the, and he even set it up there. I remember we were talking with friend of the program, the Morel man, Don Frederick, about the fact that there had only been 140 home run guy from the left side, and that side. Remember, Bellinger was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to hit the ball the other way, aren't I?" And Happ was like, "Yeah, absolutely." But knowing that now, like maybe this swing allows him to do that. I don't know. I'm not a swing doctor, but I'll say this: power the other way. He's got it, an easy power. So does the other lefty that's hitting down in spring training right now too. And Matt Mervis, it's another guy we're talking about. 40 bomb type of power. Maybe those two are the guys that you look at that where you find your power from in the midst of, say, a Suzuki maybe being hurt. But yeah, no, I think it's a great point.
Yeah, 100%.
I think
go ahead.
I just have one other point too to make too. Like with the adjustments and kind of coming back and realizing what you were doing before, I think a lot of times people or players find little things that they're doing wrong and they try too hard to adjust the other way and correct some of those issues where they lose sight of what made them really good and get them to this level, right? Like you said, his upside, we've already seen the upside. He's hit that peak before. So if he just gets back to where he was before injuries started creeping in and he started making mechanical changes to get better, yeah, I mean, I definitely love the prospects of Bellinger this season, no doubt.